What's up YouTube, Capital G here, another episode of Hope for Rogue Players. This one has got me feeling incredibly optimistic, guys, and very excited. Trickstars have hit the stage and they have already cashed in on their very first regional top 8. This is impressive because, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this the first weekend of regionals where Code of the Duelist was legal? For them to already have a regional top 8 to their name in such a short amount of time, that's really impressive, especially considering you guys know the last couple of months of competitive play, it's pretty much just been two decks. Like, it's been either True Draco or Zodiac, or it's been some type of combination of the two decks. Obviously at Worlds it was a little bit of dinosaurs, but obviously they weren't used in the TCG list, so it's pretty much just been a two-deck race. And to have something fresh inserted into the competitive meta, that is really impressive, especially considering you guys know for the past few weeks people have been trashing Code of the Duelist. They have been wondering where Trickstars are even good. A lot of people said that it's a bad archetype, it can't do anything, it's not going to top or anything like that. My man over here, Hunter Evenson, out there proving them wrong. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to Team Ghost getting these deck profiles up there, guys. If you want to see the original video, of course it will be in the description of this video. Please support smaller YouTubers, because obviously he can explain his deck a lot better than me. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, oh come on Cap G, it's just a fluke, it's just one random regional. But I don't know about that, because over here one of the guys on the card, guys, got 13th place at the Kaseme regional. So I mean, this dude is literally tiebreakers away from also getting a regional top 8. I'm gonna show you guys the deck really quickly. So this is what the deck looks like on paper, and it's very interesting because I feel like Trickstars as an archetype are still very misunderstood. I think that has to do with the fact that it's one of the only decks in Yu-Gi-Oh that it has to kind of change its win condition based on what the opponent has, and more importantly based on the cards that it actually has. Like, you really don't know what your set win condition is going to be in any given duel with Trickstars until actually you like see your opening hand and think, okay, I think I can do this with this card, and I can do this with this combination of cards and stuff like that. I'd actually say that Trickstars is very similar to this old deck from GX called Baboon Burn, but I don't really think that there are any other decks similar to it, because you look at the deck and like half the time you'll be winning with Burn, the other time you'll be winning through Poke and Burn, and a lot of times it's just kind of a combination, because the deck can do poke damage, the deck can do obviously Burn, and then a lot of times you combine the two and you have a kind of a third win condition. There is obviously, you know, the big plays with Droll and Lockbird, with Disturbance strategy and Trickstar Reincarnation. That's what I mean by you're basically just poking your opponent out, because if you get rid of their entire opening hand with like Disturbance strategy and Droll and Lockbird or something like that, you don't really need anything more than just like a Candina and any other random Trickstar, and a couple of turns later your opponent is not going to have any life points and they're top decking that entire time, while you still have a bunch of resources. But it's really cool because this is one of the only decks that will run a lot of burn cards in the main deck and in the side deck, but at any given time you can't leave your field open against the deck, or you can never feel completely comfortable attacking into their monsters, despite the fact that they're super weak, because obviously the deck is known to play multiple copies of Honest. And when I'm talking about that poke damage as well, this is another deck that can make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Both of the builds, the 13th place build and the build that made top 8, they both ran Wind Witches. I think that's just to kind of bolster like your turn ones, to make them even stronger in case you don't get those super explosive burn play turn ones where you're doing like massive amounts of burn damage, where you can OTK your opponents, or you don't open with the Droll and Lock combo. It's kind of just having a third way to get to a very strong opening board. And the Wind Witches also add in the fact that they do not eat up your normal summon, which isn't really that big of a deal for Trickstars. It's not like, you know, the deck runs chain summoning and whatnot, so you can get like a billion normal summons off of that. But if you can put down a Crystal Wing and you can still open pretty strong, that's very good, especially considering that in the True Draco matchup, if you have an unkillable Crystal Wing, I'm not really sure how exactly they get over the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Like, I think that is just a big problem. Maybe if they're running the Monarch Stormforth or something like that randomly, I guess they could tribute over it, but Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is going to be a problem for like the True Draco deck, which might not be a super easy matchup for you. Really cool to see Magic Cylinder in the side deck, and he actually said that this was very effective. He said that he would side in Lava Golem, he would give it to his opponent, obviously get rid of something like a Masterpiece or a field with like Denlong and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, in which they cannot use 9 branches at all, so that basically gets turned off. Or if they make Herald of the Pure Light, is that the single one? I'm pretty sure it's Herald of the Pure Light. You contribute that, you can give them Lava Golem, and then obviously most people aren't going to sit with Lava Golem, they're going to attack, and then you can basically just burn them for 3,000 damage. He said that Blazing Mirror Force was putting in so much work. He said this won him 5 duels, so Blazing Mirror Force obviously is just really cool of a card and hasn't seen a lot of play, I would say, outside of Chainburn. So it's really nice to see it finally have another home. And I just like the way that Trickstars operate. I like the fact that it's like Baboon Burn, where you may only have to do like, 1,600 battle damage, and then you get the rest through burn. Or in another duel, you might do, 2,800 battle damage, and then you get the rest through, burn damage with Light Stage, or burn damage through Mirror Force. Maybe you get some more burn damage from your, your Wind Witch Winter Bell. And I want to go ahead and address some of the comments I know I'm going to get on this video. I think people are going to say, like, regionals don't matter. I think people are going to say, oh, it's only one regional, Cap, don't get carried away. And I think people are also going to say, well, come on, Cap G, no one was expecting Trickstars, they just weren't ready. And I think I can refute all 3 of those points. For starters, regionals do matter because obviously you can go to Worlds just by attending regionals. So I would say if you're a Worlds attendee, that has a little bit of credibility. Number 2, saying that, like, no one expected Trickstars and people weren't prepared for it. I mean, come on, Trickstar Reincarnation is the most expensive card in the entire set of Card of the Duelist. Like, well, what did you think that people were playing this in? All these people who have play sets of Reincarnation, and the reason that this card holds so much value, like, why do you think that is? It's because Trickstars are a very legitimate deck. And then the last thing is, for people saying, oh, it's just one regional top 8, you have to understand that there are a lot of low tier decks like Buster Blader, and what would be another one? Spirals, Subterrors. These are decks that kind of spend like an entire year hunting for one regional top 8. I think that Spirals have like 1 top 8. Buster Blader, I don't even think has a regional top 8, and I think Subterrors might have like 1 top 8. So if you're taking these decks and it takes them basically a year to get like 1 breakthrough top 8, and Trickstars are doing it already out the gate against Zodiac, against True Draco. He said that he played against True Draco, he played against Zodiac, so it's not like people are topping and not even playing against the meta. I think that speaks volumes about the archetype, and it's really good for everybody who is trashing Trickstar. I warned you guys in my Is Card of the Duelist really all that bad video. If the YCS Toronto happens and Trickstars end up sneaking in the top 8, oh my goodness, you are going to look so foolish. So all I'm saying is I think that this deck deserves an opportunity to prove itself, and so far it has done that. Am I saying that it's the best deck of the format? Absolutely not, but I'm at least saying that Trickstars have a leg to stand on. I think that they definitely can be competitively viable for the next couple of months, and we probably just looked at this deck and, I don't know, passed judgment on it too quickly. And I'm speaking not necessarily from myself or for myself, but mainly for like the Yu-Gi-Oh community, because I do think that Trickstars are legitimate. I think that it's hard to deal with all the angles that the deck can hit you with, because you guys know with Chainburn winning the Dragon Duel Worlds, first off, people are not, like, the decks are not accustomed to, and they're not equipped to deal with burn cards game 1 anyway. So that's why if you're playing a burn deck, or even as Trickstars are a semi-burn deck, I guess you could classify it as. Some people might say it's just a straight burn deck. You already have such a heavy advantage game 1, and then you still have the damage cards. Even if your opponent sides in a bunch of anti-burn crap, you can still just, potentially hit them with that Droll and Lockbird combo, and it's like, well, fuck, all my anti-burn cards are gone in my opening hand, so I guess I'll just lose to, Candina Beatdown. So just wanted to show you guys this, wanted to just put Trickstars on the map, let you guys know that they are a very real deck, not that expensive. Well, nah, actually, now that I think about it, when you add the 3 copies of Glass Bell, it can actually get kind of expensive, because Reincarnation is $30. I think Candina and Light Stage are both like $4 to $5, so that's $15 for a playset. And then when you add the Ice Bells, which last I checked were like $18, $19, yeah, that can definitely be, this might end up being like a $250 deck when you add everything in. But just something interesting posting coming out of the regional circuit that was not Dp-Ygo and obviously was not the Zodiac deck as well. So I thought that I would definitely go ahead and cover it. Thank you guys for watching. As always, check out Team Ghost. Please support the guys who ended up posting this replays and support smaller YouTubers. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. This video has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audible.com/MegaCapitalG. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your mobile device. I'm listening to the amazing I Can't Make This Up by Kevin Hart. Link in the description.